Hi, wait, there's even more? Wow! Now that global warming is real, let's discuss some more Nine Circles levels. After all, who doesn't like a way focused pile of junk? Also, I stream on Twitch now, twitch.tv/thewildseabye. Let's start off with a level that might sound familiar. Astronaut 13, the one that's blue, is a medium demon circles level that has a bunch of weird sections. Besides the name matching a gray Nine Circles level, this one really has its own identity entirely. I mean, what other level has this flashing wave effect? The main factor against this spicy man level is the spam sections in the way. There is a lot of unorthodox gameplay to be found outside of the atmosphere, I guess, but whether that's a good thing or not is about as undiscovered as life on Mars. This thing is joining its brother in the D tier for being ridiculously uninteresting to the point that even the most basic bitch Nine Circles levels seem more fun than this thing. Like, actually, look at it. What more is there? Though, being creative can sometimes be the crutch of your problem. This feels like a rejected Pentatone level in a lot more ways than one, mainly because of the shit gameplay and the great sync. Besides being a supremely creative way to tell your parents that you like the same sex, there is no reason to ever play this level, honestly. Despite some admittedly creative usage of the circles effect, the gameplay being filled with portal clicks makes Hitler look like a stand-up civilian in comparison to this disgrace of the human experience. Humanity has been improving in a lot of ways in the last decade, but they sadly still can't get the future right. D tier, because it's somewhat creative still, at least, I guess. Oh my god, why does every single episode of any series I do become political in some way? So recently, the former and future president got shot in the ear as of this video's creation, marking the biggest bag fumble in human history. The newspapers then proceeded to get pissed off that the former president got trumped is no longer a usable headline for their mediocre daily slop. Dexerto is seething in the corner right now. Trump would also be the type of guy to ask for likes and subs. Just like me, we are so in sync, this Trump guy and me. This obviously very, very, very serious level is pure propaganda for the American dream of having the annoying orange in a suit leading a global superpower. This is done through an admittedly somewhat enjoyable Nine Circles level, though the ball part is something to challenge that notion on. During the level's creation, the creator added multiple references to building a brick structure to keep the neighboring population out. For example, cranes, and according to the creators of Trump Circles, all you need to build a massive stone divider is a bunch of cranes. These are the types of people you're supporting by liking this level, okay? At least this level has a bunch of very distinct sections and two entirely different circles effects, though they are present in the disappointingly short wave segments. For a Nine Circles level especially. Like, look, these wave sections last for as long as I do. Overall, this was a fairly solid attempt at skewing the presidential elections of 2020 at the time, for which I will grant this level a solid B tier spot. Though if Biden Circles got rated, this might move up a spot or two. So after we went all political with this fucking thing, I thought there was no way to go but up. I get to invent some new slurs for specifically flat major. Let me think. Oh yeah, I got it. Flatty is a Flatty is a fucking useless pile of shit that was made by somebody that played the game through illegitimate means. Torture Circles, as it's often referred to by just me, is indeed a waterboarding fest. The death penalty should be allowed back in all countries just because of flat major. The pre-drop in this thing is too free for words, which results in the absolute salt in the wound that the wave is. My girlfriend's husband could make better gameplay than this, which is impressive considering I'm single. If one ever happens to land on flat major, a dopamine detox through Eager Hacker version 2 is allotted as per request of the Eager Hacker version 2 fan club Discord server link in the description. Welp, F tier is generous for this almost predatory feeling level. This is actually straight up my least favorite insane demon in the entire game. I fucking hate it with every fiber of my being. Thankfully, after the onslaught of easy, medium, hard, and insane demons, we finally entered the realm where players hack their circles levels. Wait, this is still flat major. Bloodbath, if it wasn't Bloodbath, is a very generic and frankly uninteresting circles level that has been remade more often than any Rob Top level ever will. Like, honestly, I'm still waiting for the day that even Rob Buck releases Buckwave at this point, to be honest. Unbalanced, historical, and boring as this level may be, epic title screen! The circles parts look fine, nothing much stands out with this one. The ball part is infamously harder than the rest of the level though, which is at least very intriguing. Plus it's the new hardest circles level at the time of its raid, meaning that the top spot got slightly more tolerable looking. Somehow this is better than what we used to have. Still though, Sonic Wave is about as playable as Sonic 06. So for that, it enters the E tier. If you're gonna make an Extreme Demon Circles level, at least try, you know? A breath of fresh air in the asphyxiating trend, BOS of Vortex has a new and improved circles effect, plus a bunch of terrible transitions, as Technical points out, so that it still feels slightly familiar to the 9 Circle snubs. The usage of the color purple also reminds me that we really can do better than what we have done before. Beneteau actually made an interesting, well-synced 9 Circles level that, while flawed, still tried more than enough new things in a good way to make an easy entry into the B tier. If the level were slightly less shit to play, it might have even entered the A tier, but for now I'll call it the gatekeeper of B tier. Wow, after such a banger level, this next level must suck, right? Actually, quite literally the exact opposite is true. People ask me why I'm so strict on the quality of 9 Circles levels all the time, and with all the time I mean once every 3 months. I want to preface that levels like the secret box are the real reason why I'm as picky as I am and why the S tier has been so empty up to this point. Besides my awful experience, like horrendously awful experience with this level, when I beat it back in the fucking French Revolution, this level is excellent for a 9 Circles level. The sync, the unique song, the way the level handles the pulsing effect, the flow, the balancing, everything here is just top of the line Circles gameplay. Plus, SpongeBob is a really great cartoon, and having a level that prominently represents an episode from it is pretty freaking cool to me. The fact of the matter is just that this is easily, without question, the best Circles level up to this point, and one of my personal all-time favorites, meaning that this is the first level to ever enter the ever-present S tier! Yay! Woo! It only took 57 levels for us to get a banger, which is less time than the map packs would have taken at least. All of a sudden, the rest of the remaining levels tremble in fear as the next level looks like this. Pulsar is a level and a person that looks significantly better than it has any right to. For the time this came out, in particular, this level and person had some crazy creative usage of some of the shittiest objects known to man, yet it somehow looks sick. I don't get how they pulled this off. Like, look at this part, man. It's cool. The parts are creative, well suited together, and most importantly, actually worth a shit. Besides some admittedly very oddly tight gaps and sections every here and there, every now and again, you know, like that one, most of this level plays pretty well. I would advise getting some other Circles levels under your belt before this one though, because some of the gameplay is pretty freaking wacky. I would put Sexy Circles into the A tier, purely on the strength of its design being as creative and one of a kind honestly as it is. I have to admit though, I missed the time that I was like talking about, you know, something interesting, something pretty shit, something flawed. Even though this is kind of flawed, it's not really scratching that itch. You know, it's like this nostalgia that's burning in my... God, nostalgia feels good! Honestly, what can I say about 9 Circle X that hasn't been said many, many times before? This is one of the most widely shitted on 9 Circles levels due to the questionable wave gameplay and the piggybacking it does off of the original. Though admittedly, I have never really felt that strongly about this one. That is, until I actually beat it myself a couple weeks ago. Good lord, this pre-drop, man. If it weren't for this godforsaken ball ramp, this skateboard would have been pretty fun. Because the level looks solid for the time. The wave gameplay is trying something new that is not like a lot of other Circles levels, which is being fucking awkward as shit in a wholly unique way. Despite the name of the original 9 Circles being attached to this remake, it really does not feel like it, to be honest. That's like probably the biggest knock against the entire thing. The pacing is there, sure, but the Circles effects and especially gameplay are just obviously not completely made by Zobras, which is kind of upsetting. Still, besides all of the flaws and the super tacky name, 9 Circle X does not mean any harm. Well, who knew that adding an X to the end of your level's name would drop it down 3 full entire tiers, right into the D tier? For some reason though, the previous levels, including this one, have been very polished pieces of work. I was really thinking there would be, I don't know, something that aged like AIDS? Ah, okay, there you have the STD. This is Power, which aged about as well as Kanye's worldviews. There is no nice way for me to say this, but this looks like fucking absolute ass. I prefer almost every other 9 Circles level over this one in terms of the way it looks. Like, what the fuck is this wave, bro? You can pinpoint the exact moment in time this was created, which is not a good thing in the era it's from, being late 2.0. The weird choice to match the color scheme of the original Sonic Wave is also not helping this wacky waste of watts. This overall very odd time capsule is going into the E tier for looking like vomit and apparently playing like it as well. I don't know, I haven't beaten it. I'm planning to, but I haven't beaten it. A mixed bag. What a surprise. For once though, the good almost outweighed the bad. So yeah, 9 Circles levels are actually starting to try a bit more than nothing now. Will this lead to a higher average quality from here on out? Well, that's for next time.